Welcome back to Showreel. I often find that many of the cultural or niche film festivals that come and go without being noticed, at least by many people I know, which is such a shame as they showcase some really spectacular talent, both undiscovered and well known. So with Australia's inaugural British Film Festival opening this November here in Brisbane, I thought I'd take the time to check out the latest in British talent. Let's take a look at the trailer. This year, there are 14 highly anticipated contemporary films showing, as well as 5 quintessential classics. The highlights of this year's festival include the opening night film One Chance, which tells the true rags-to-riches story of Paul Potts, played by James Corden, as he went from obscurity to fame after winning the first season of Britain's Got Talent. Also on the bill are the films Dom Hemingway, starring Jude Law and Richard E. Grant, How I Live Now, directed by Kevin MacDonald, who also directed The Last King of Scotland, and starring Saoirse Ronan from The Lovely Bones, in a modern tale of romance and a young girl's struggle to survive after World War III breaks out. And Good Vibrations, featuring Irish comedian Dylan Moran, and set in a record store in the heart of Belfast's developing rock scene in the 1970s. Rounding off the festival is the closing night's Philomena, starring Judi Dench and Steve Coogan, in the true story of one mother's search for her lost son. The film was very well received at the Venice Film Festival recently, so it's definitely one to go see. And if you're into the classics, Lawrence of Arabia, The Third Man, 39 Steps, Great Expectations, and Brief Encounter will all be showing in a celebration of past British achievements in film. So definitely go and have a look at the full lineup because, as I said, I often find that film festivals such as this get missed because they are not screened everywhere and so slip under many people's radars. I was surprised by just how many big-name stars are in these films, such as Judi Dench and Jude Law, but I think it's equally well worth the watch to see some of the upcoming British talent that we'll surely see in more mainstream films over the next few years. The British Film Festival will screen from the 27th of November to the 8th of December at Palace Centro Cinema in Fortitude Valley. And now it's over to Jacob for his review of The Butler.
The Butler follows the story of Cecil Gaines, who was raised in the harsh realities of a cotton plantation before leaving and becoming employed as a White House butler, where he served 6 presidents before retiring. Let's take a look at the trailer.
I'm Cecil Gaines. I'm the new butler.
I want to hear all the stories.
The White House swore him with some kind of secret code.
He served 7 presidents.
I'm thrilled to be working with all of you over the next 4 years.
And during a time of change,
something special is going on down here, Dad.
Our boy's in jail, Cecil.
He became their inspiration.
I know your son is a freedom rider.
Turn the bus!
No, I never understood what you all really went through. You've changed my heart.
The Butler is not so much about one man who happened to be the butler for many US presidents and his influence on them. It's more about the everyman who worked hard and kept their head down while trying to support their families and just living a good, decent life. It's about all the seemingly ordinary people and their place in the development of America. A quick glance at the cast will tell you that this is not just a little story about a humble man quietly toiling away at being a butler. This movie spans the butler's whole life and simultaneously covers a lot of the larger historical key points along the way to modern America's current level of racial acceptance. In covering such a vast period of time, with not only the butler's life but so many historical points and characters to cover, it would be easy to get lost. The film is held together with Forest Whitaker's narration and using well-known historical happenings such as changing presidents and assassinations to break it down into sections and keep it moving along. I didn't actually find the filmmaking to be that awe-inspiring. There was some nice cinematography and decent performances, but overall I didn't find the techniques used to be terribly interesting or original. They were basically condensing down a very emotive and difficult historical thread that would have been compelling no matter who directed it, with perhaps the exception of Michael Bay. I enjoyed the movie, but I could have just as easily watched a documentary about the Butler, and it would have been equally as compelling. And I'm going to guess that as a documentary, it would have been more accurate. Not that I knew anything about the guy before watching this film, but Hollywood doesn't usually get historical accuracy, let historical accuracy get in the way when over-sentimentalizing a screenplay like this. It was an enjoyable movie with a great cast, makes some interesting points, but lost me a little with the broad storyline and over-sentimental telemovie crap. I think many will enjoy this movie more than I did. 3.5 stars. So, has anyone else seen The Butler?
No, unfortunately. No. With such a big cast like that, do you think it was well cast, or is it just for the star?
Some of them were. I mean, then you've got like certain people that were cast as certain presidents that didn't necessarily do justice to the president, even though they're great actors. That they could have cast someone else to play like Ronald Reagan, and
I
they
liked
would have done
Severus
it.
Snape being cast as Ronald Reagan. I thought that would have been
So
nice.
you felt that watching a documentary about the real person might have been more compelling than this film?
Well, for me, yeah. I mean, Forrest Whitaker and Oprah Winfrey, you know, they had some nice scenes in there, and there was nice performances, but there was just so many characters and so much stuff that they're covering. I didn't really get into the character. Like, I didn't feel that connected to him.
Okay.
How historically accurate did you think it was, though?
I don't really know the history of it. I did look on IMDb, and there's a lot of mistakes in certain things. Like, he's wearing the wrong shirt at the end of it, which was after Obama got in. He was wearing a later sort of campaign shirt and different things like that. And there was a VW in the wrong places, and the walls, the fence at the White House was wrong in part of it. But I don't know historically in terms of what actually happened. Obviously, it's America, it's Hollywood.
Pretty hard to get a lot of that right, because that's such a long length of time, wouldn't it?
I remember they were saying, supposedly in the White House, they've got the wrong flag with too many stars on it.
Wow.
For a good portion of it. I thought that's something that they should be onto.
That's a clanger.
Yeah.
That's a clanger.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you for joining us, Jacqui and John. It's been great having you on.
Thank you. A great pleasure.
Make sure to check out the Showreel podcast and our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages. Tune in next week for more Showreel, when we're joined by the host of Turning Points, Sean Bindley. See you then.
Good show. I'm really excited about next week. So, yeah, when you come in, I was thinking we should have, I don't know, maybe you okay? Jacob, what is it? You can
I've really enjoyed being on the show, and I'd like to stay, but...
What, Jacob? Tell me. I can handle it.
There's someone else that I have to leave.